let's take a moment and appreciate the Pause 17.4. Now this is the Reboot Edition, so there's a lot going on and a lot of options, and we're gonna get into it. Pause Reboot 17.4 from Palomino. Well, this is a Pause Reboot Edition, and this is the 17.4 model. And it's got so much going on for it, and as you know, the Pause lineup of trailers is designed to get you off-road and off-grid. So you have power options. You have from solar through inverters through batteries, all that. We'll discuss that in a little bit. But it also has a great MORryde suspension on it that is super robust and capable. We'll look at that as well. But you're probably wondering what makes this particular model so unique. And I'm gonna tell you, I think it's the back porch space that we'll demonstrate opening up a little bit later. Let's go ahead and get inside this really cool Pause trailer, the 17.4 Reboot Edition, and take a look around the inside. Let's go. Here we are in the Pause Reboot Edition 17.4, and it is a really cool non-slide off-road capable trailer. Now you notice that I say it's a Reboot Edition, so they have two kind of sister lines within the Pause family. The Pause is really the every single thing thrown at it version of, or vision of the lineup. And then the Reboot Edition is more of the palette that you get to add stuff to. They have a few options for you to choose from in the Reboot lineup, from power options, suspension options, and things like that. But both are very capable from the ground up for your off-grid and off-road travels. Super comfortable. Now it is just over 20 feet long as an external measurement, but 17.4 tells you more the living space, 17.4 inches in living space. Let's talk about fit. I am 6'5", standing up straight in my shoes, and you'll see in this trailer, this is very doable, very comfortable. The question is next, since I'm standing in this area, now sitting, is the bed big enough for most scenarios, most people? Well, it is a true 60 by 80 queen size bed. It is quite comfortable. It is an east to west situation. Now, obviously, that's something that people, you know, have to figure out if it will work for them. East to west does allow a little bit more space in the living space to design around and work around. So just keep that in mind. True queen bed, 60 by 80. I do have, you know, some creature features in here. First off, great cabinetry, great lighting right here, puck lighting that is down here, and I have power options towards the head of the bed. They designed this to where you're situated with your head of the bed over there. You have some 12-volt chargers for your phone. You have standard residential plugs. Obviously, you'll need to be hooked up to either shore power or a generator, or you'll have to have your inverter. This has a big old 3,000 watt inverter. It's a Victron inverter. Great name in that space. To run your residential plugs off of your batteries. We'll get into the power situation a little bit later, but you have residential plugs there, and you have more plugs hanging off the very end of the shelf. We'll roll in some B-roll so you can see that. I also see a gateway up here. It's a WineGuard 5G gateway. Now it's there, it's ready to be activated, if you will, but that's on you as the end user. What does that do? Well, it basically takes whatever cell phone data signal is available wherever you're camping, and it amps it up. So you may be in a place that has great signal, in which case that might be not necessary. But if you're in a place where you do need more oomph to your signal to maybe get some work done or share your travels with your friends and family, then that may be a great asset to your travels. Okay, let me look around. I have a little bit of storage here and some shelving here, great for the knickknacks and things like that you might need. I have a light switch, oh, look at that, for those down-facing puck lights right there. a really large television that can rotate around. So it's, you know, television in bed, television for the cooking, living space, and the dining space right there. I have some hooks for hanging, easily could be keys or whatever, but maybe a ball cap, a shirt, a jacket, whenever you're heading out, a sweater. And then we have really nice latches on these cabinets. Let's see how they open. Nicely done. Have a little bit of a curve to them, good depth to them. So, and they are all the way across. I might have a little bit of difficulty getting in and out of the very furthest cabinet, so it might not be something that I'm reaching for on the regular, or it might be just stuff that is, you know, something I need to reach in, maybe put away for the night. So I think that that's really quite fantastic right up here. Like I said, good latches, good hold opens. Those are soft close. And right above me, a Truma Aventa air conditioner, great for this space. Modern unit, solid unit, and efficient. Let me, since I'm here, now I don't usually find myself going this direction right off the bat in a video, but let me go ahead and bring us in to this dry bath in this size trailer. Not too shabby. Let's check it out. Well, that is fairly satisfying. It latches away. This is how I would travel with it, latched away. Again, the same headroom I have in the main living space I have in the bathroom. And it's a pretty great bathroom. I mean, it's nice, it's easy to clean and whatnot. I'm gonna step up into the shower. Keep in mind that I wouldn't necessarily be showering in my shoes, but here you go. All right, can I stand up straight under this skylight? And I absolutely can. I have probably 2 inches above my head in here. This is a one-piece, really nice surround with built-in shelving and a nice system for, you know, getting clean after your adventures, maybe relaxing a little bit. So there you go. It's a good enough space for my size. Probably will work for most of you. It has a really nice max fan right here. Of course, that will bring air in or out right there. Great shelving or great storage right here in the bathroom, and we'll roll in some B-roll for you. But for me, it's perfect because I can see easily in it. If you're a little bit shorter than me, you might have to stand on your tippy toes, if you will, to see if there's anything small that got pushed to the back. But it's about 10 inches deep across the floor of the shelving and about the same in height. So good amount of space in here. I have a decent amount of space for countertop to set things down and whatnot, toothbrushes and combs. A nice sink, and it's not the smallest sink that you will find in trailers. And in fact, it's probably about 10-inch deep bowl. Great mirror. I have some power on the side and the light switch right there for a nice undermount light again, and an overmount indirect light. They want it to feel nice in here. The toilet is a Dometic toilet. It's a foot flush. And here in a minute, I'll give you just a little look at what it looks like for a big guy to check for knee space. And a little bit of storage underneath the sink. And you'll find that it's a little bit tight to access that storage, but in a pinch, it'll work for you. We're now in this kitchen galley area. Remember, this is a non-slide camper, so we're going to have to see how they engineered this space to make it work for you. On the edge here is something that I'm really excited about. Now, this is a Garmin control system, and I'm not going to be able to go fully in depth on everything it can do, but let me do a little bit of an overview for you. I'll get us to the home screen. Now, this will control your entertainment center. So I have radio control here. It says power off at the moment. And so I have all the control over the inside speakers, outside speakers, levels, and all that there. Now, under the pause emblem, I can see quite a few things. I'm going to go to the home. It is the temperature. I have battery levels. I have tank levels. It's kind of your starting place to get an idea of what's going on in your trailer. But if you want a deep dive, they have different sections for that. I have next lighting. Now I can control all of the lighting inside and outside the trailer right here. I can turn on and off all of the interior lights right there. I can turn on and off all of the exterior lights, and there's so many lights on the outside of this trailer, including, of course, your outside steps, but also awning light, but massive floodlights on the front and the back. So if you're in a dark space and you need to get some work done, you totally can. So lots of control there, including the ability to dim lights right from this panel, which is pretty cool. Next is it has water drops there, so that is giving you information on your tank sizes or your tank state. Now this trailer has 65 gallons of fresh water capacity, 30 gallons of gray water capacity, and 30 gallons of black water capacity. Amazing. And it is meant to be off-grid, off-road in some pretty gnarly situations, so it's a very buttoned up floor or base underneath the camper with insulated, heated tanks, lines, and all that. So cold weather, it's fun camping anyways. You should go do it. Well, this will keep you up to date on your water tank capacities. You can turn on your water pump, you can turn on your water heater, and you can turn on your tank heating elements right there on that screen. This screen has a lightning bolt, so this is going to give you an idea of what all of your system is doing. Your solar, your inverters, what they're up to, on, off, your charge rate. I actually can update, if I'm on shore power, I can update if it's getting the full 30 amps, or if I have a lot of things on that circuit and I want to protect the breaker from flipping and protect those other things, I can actually lower that down to, say, 15 or 10 or something like that. If the trailer's going to be there a while, it doesn't hurt anything for it to charge a little bit more slowly. So that's a neat thing there. I can see what's on, what's working, how much solar is coming in, or how much shore power is affecting my system. But it also lets me know kind of how much time I have. Let's say I am on solar and I'm using some things. I have all the lights on right now, so it can tell me, am I charging or am I slowly consuming energy off the batteries? All great information. And being that it's Victron, for all those connected elements, Victron is a great name in the space, but it also allows you to, have some idea of what's going on from your phone through the Victron app. Very neat. This next one is so very nice. In fact, for this video, I was able to level from side to side this trailer using the air suspension on this trailer. So MORryde air suspension, which creates a fantastic towing situation. Great, fantastic off-road experience because I can adjust the height. It absorbs the bouncing quite well, but I can also adjust for clearance or low clearance even. But when I'm setting up for camping for a few days, I adjusted the front to back using the tongue jack as per usual. And then I adjusted the side to side level using the airbag suspension right from this Garmin panel. And it was amazing. So lots you can do here, so much more than I got into. Hopefully we have a video on our Tech Tour channel with Cody. You might want to hop on over there to check it out. If we don't have one, then I'll talk to Cody. I'm going to come down here and you'll see on the edge of this countertop that we have some residential plugs. We have power for that armless carefree awning, and it also has LED lights on it. Very beautiful situation in the evenings. And then we have some switches here, and this one gets that ambient light from the top, that indirect lighting. It's all the way around this cabin. Very nice. This next one we figured out is actually the outdoor porch light. So you're not going to be able to see it do anything right now. And then these are indirect lighting across the floor. So that's cool. And then this one gets the living space lights right there. Very understandable situation. But let's move on. All right, let's talk about this space right here because it is really quite nice. It has a great countertop and it is a composite with no kind of edge on it that's exposed that water can seep down into. Not a thing with that. Feels very open, a mirror here, like it, and part of the nice feeling in here is, again, that indirect lighting here, the floor lighting down there, and these really unobtrusive puck lights there. Furrion vent hood with light right there. And then down below, obviously, as with a glass cover on it, you can have a little bit of extra counter space here, but let's talk about the cooking, because that's what we're here for, right? A great size Furrion 3-burner stove with igniters, little light there. You use that as a night light if you want to. And coming down below, there's a Greystone convection microwave right here. Now, if it was just a microwave, that's not something I use that much while camping, but being that it's a convection oven, now it's a little bit more interesting to me, might be to you, depending on how you like to camp and cook while you're out and about. Remember that this has not only great battery options and an inverter, 3,000 watt inverter. That means that you can run that system off your batteries as long as you have that inverter in use and you have enough power in those batteries to do so. I'm going to come all the way down here and we're going to look at a rather large drawer right here below. So I might find, pots and pans and stuff like that. Again, the same quality catches and all that all the way around. Soft close, and there's 3 of these right there. Okay, back up and across. There's a little bitty device right here, and there's actually 2, and so I'm going to push down the outer perimeter and pull up right there. USB charging ports, GFCI protected outlets right there, and unobtrusive when you need them to be. There's another one right here. 2. So I think that they're planning on that one being used more in the dinette area, whatever you want. So good to go. Let's look at this sink. Obviously, it's got some functionality to it right there. Cutting board cover, pretty typical, but this is a nice looking one. Then the sink, it's an undermount sink. It looks stainless steel, maybe more likely aluminum. I don't know, but it's a good foot across, a foot wide. It's almost square, so it's maybe a little bit less than a foot wide, and then maybe about 6 inches deep. Good amount of space, and the included strainer. And I didn't open up the storage above, so let's go ahead and get some of that. And storage all the way down. I'm starting to get into the dining space storage there, but finished out and right where you need it. But they tucked away an accessory right there that comes with these trailers, and this is a tire pressure monitoring system that comes with the trailer. Nice little thing to include. Thank you, Forest River and Palomino, for that. Well, what are you going to do with your cold goods? Let's come over here and find out, because you'll notice it's a sizable refrigerator and freezer scenario. This is a 12-volt compressor refrigerator, which has its perks. It's one of the quickest methods to get cold going. It efficiently, quickly cools down, and then it stays cool using a small 12-volt draw. It's all relative, but it's pretty sippy in relative terms. What I will say about this is when you get used to using one of these, you will also get more efficient. You don't open these doors unless you need in there, and you certainly don't leave them open for terribly long. Down below that refrigerator, you do have your breaker and fuse box, standard in the industry. You have an outlet for your furnace, but you also, throughout this cabin, have ducting for that furnace as well. So it's a nice system that spreads that heat out pretty evenly. And as we know, hot air rises, so it spreads out and warms the space very comfortably. I like it. I think I need to show you this cabinetry, and then we'll move down to the living space, the dining space. So we have good deep cabinetry right here. They go all the way back to the wall. Of course, there's a little bit of, under sink space taken up and some plumbing, but other than that, it really is a fantastic space for you to utilize for lots of things. And that does it for this. Let's move over to the dinette. So coming into this dinette area, again, not a slide out space, so they did a lot of working with it to make sure it can do the things you need it to do. Very comfortable, and they made sure it's made of good stuff, but also was adjustable. And what do I mean by adjustable? Well, this is another sleeping space. The sizes I'll have in the video description down below, along with all the specs and details. But it's very open, very airy, good storage all the way around on both sides. And let's talk about how you might convert this to fit your needs. So good seating, I could easily fit 4 people. I could probably fit 6 people if there's like 2 adults and 2 or 4 adults and 2 kids, or some mix of that. But this table needs to be adjustable to accomplish things like getting people in and out or turning into a sleeping space. So there is a lever right down here, and with that lever, I can move this table back and forth this way, but also fore and aft, like so. But that doesn't handle the lowering portion. To lower this down, there's another lever underneath, and I'm going to depress that, and it will allow me to raise this up and down just like that. That allows it to rest here. But you and I can see that this table does not, when it's all the way down here, does not cover for this space right here. Forest River's got you, and they provided a little gap filler here, and it's all solid. I mean, solid wood. This is well done. You're not falling through this thing, not easily, and it'll go across here to fill up the last little bit of space to make this a good sleeping space for most people. It is not big enough for me because there's some storage on the other side of that side of the dinette, which we'll roll in some B-roll to show you. But as you can see, they planned ahead. Where does this live? Well, I pulled it out of the storage space that I'm underneath the seating that I'm currently sitting on. This is wide open for your use on this camper. And here in a second, we're going to take a look and see what we can find underneath that seat over there. But they also have strange looking pillows. I don't know what that reminds me of. I guess from the side, it's kind of like one of those Olmec statues that you find in South America. Pretty cool. But they want you to relax when you're camping. There's one on this side, one on that side. Right now, it's already amazing space. I could totally turn around, lean back, and relax facing this way and be fine. But wait, there's more. This wall opens up. Now, I'm going to go ahead and close this window to accomplish that. Woo! Now, to accomplish this, I did go ahead and open up some of the gadgetry and gear on the back, but I will save the rest of that for when we're outside so you can really see me open this up. But what a really great experience in this dinette with airflow and light, especially on a day like this. I'm going to come around and I'm going to show you they do have a screen that can come down for protection, much like all of the windows. So while this is beautiful, feels great, I'm going to rotate this way and we're going to talk about these windows real quick. These windows are dual pane and they are made of great material, so they're a bit impact resistant. They have some tinting on them, make your space more enjoyable. Again, we have Furrion speakers and whatnot above me, but let's look at what we have. Screens on all of the windows, and you can go all the way down, or you can come up with a true blackout shade, or you can match them in the middle, get a little bit of light blocking, a little bit of privacy, and a little bit of airflow in the middle. There you go. To operate these, it works on a click system, so obviously I can close it, I can find a click, and it'll hold. I can find another click, and it'll hold. There you go. They also have a nice little system where you can halfway latch these shut so you can have a little bit of airflow right around the edge there. Or for travel, or for when you're in storage or you really need it shut, all those options, you go ahead and bring it in further and fully latch it. But right now, it's just too nice to do that. So let's have the airflow and all that. I'm going to move to the other side of the dinette. We're going to wrap up the inside of this trailer, and then we're going to get into the really cool space outside. So I'm already removing these really nice cushions, and it looks like a nice finished out space, but watch this. Screwed down. Why? Equipment. You got to have a place for some of that electrical equipment, furnace equipment, you know, water pump equipment. It's my suspicion that it's all down there. You can access it, but you aren't likely to need to, and you don't want to store things around it that can bump into it and whatever in transit. So let's protect it and make sure that it's accessible as you need to, but not really more than that. Let me put this back in place, and you do have one of those really cool cushions for this side. Another one of those really neat charging stations in the corner. And on the side here, I have my control unit for my Truma equipment, your water heater right there. Now, Truma has really made a name for themselves for quality equipment, whether it be your air conditioning system or particularly their water systems. And this unit has one of their Truma AquaGo Comfort Plus units, which is just about, I mean, it's as close as you can get to saying instant hot water without it actually being 100% true to definition instant hot water. Really great system in this unit to keep you comfortable. You have some more outlets on the wall and more storage above. Pretty nice space. I really like it. But let's go outside. All right, first things first, let's set up this outdoor patio space because I think this is what we've all been waiting for. I'm going to go ahead and get the tire rack down, get the railing all set up for you. Let's go. And we're going to go ahead and unlatch this here and bring it on down. Now it's time to finish up this outdoor patio space by making sure that we have our railing up, and it's a very satisfying metal system. This part is held with a magnet, so a little bit of resistance there, folds out, and let's look at what we're trying to accomplish. There is a post or pin right there, and we have a latch that captures it as it swings into place. But I also want this post to be guided into this spot and make sure that that bolt fits right where it wants to. I kind of use it as a guide to see if I'm lined up. So here we go. In, that bolt comes through, and I'm going to click this in place. And there we go. I am on the system. There's a little extra gate piece right there. And I'm going to do the same to the other side because it's the exact same system. Bring this around, guide this post, looking for this pin to be captured. So here we go, in space, and that was easy. I'm going to finish this up, and there you go. Now there's a little rail right there. Fantastic. Now your outdoor space is wonderful in so many ways. I can imagine, depending on your camping scenario, hanging this right over the edge of a creek or a stream or something like that and jumping right off with your kids, letting your dog jump off, what have you. It is such a nice experience out here with the 17.4 Reboot. But there's more to see. Let's go on around. Now, this is where you get into some neat features, but also some standard features. This is your standard 30 amp inlet. Of course, it comes with the cord, but we're charging off of the sun today, so not connected. What are these? Well, that's a great way to bring in even more solar power into your solar system, your MPPT controllers and all that, all from Victron. You can use these Anderson style plugs to very positively connect a lot of solar out here, maybe a solar blanket or a suitcase controller system. This is a lockable bay. What could possibly be in here? A lot of Victron goodies. Here's your 3,000 watt inverter. And then we have all these things, MPPT controllers. Why would they have two? Well, because of the amount of capacity this has, whether you're going to be charging off the solar system on the roof or bringing in more solar out here, and also to be able to integrate all the charging scenarios from shore power, solar and whatnot. To integrate it all, you have two MPPT solar charge controllers and then your DC to DC battery charger. Now, this has always been one of my favorite pieces of equipment to install on anything that I personally am running, because that little bitty charge, 12-volt charge coming through your 7-pin connector to your tow vehicle, it's great, it's worked fantastically, but it's kind of slow for a large battery system. And, well, this, with a little bit of added equipment, basically thicker gauge wiring in your tow vehicle off of your alternator, this will give you up to a true 30 amp charge off of your tow vehicle while you're in transit from point A to point B, which is fantastic. I've been in scenarios where I didn't have shore power and I didn't have a generator with me, and I was camping in a very tree covered scenario or cloudy days, and my tow vehicle operated as my generator to get me just a few more hours that I might have needed before moving to my next place. So it is fantastic. This is where a lot of your Victron equipment is housed, and they want it protected. It's locked up for you with great seals to protect against the elements. Slam latches, ready to go. Now, this is a good place to also see that this is a MORryde Huck bolted aluminum frame that is basically the platform, the foundation for everything attached. Whether it be that MORryde air ride suspension, amazing suspension, it's connected to it down below, gives you lots of ground clearance and control, but also it's what the entire cabin, all aluminum framed, going on up is attached to. So MORryde, you're going to see a lot of MORryde products on here. It's kind of like the foundational ecosystem for your stability, your ride, everything. MORryde, good stuff. Coming on down, you have a really solid built ladder, because that roof can totally support you as walk-on roof. Now, are you going to be up there often? Probably not, and a lot of that real estate up there is taken up by solar panels. So you might be up there just to clean off your solar panels and whatnot. Remember, they do work more efficiently if they don't have a layer of dust on them or what have you. So let's move down here, see what's behind this door. Okay, this is a great system. This is a Nautilus P4 system, and you're going to find this in some of my favorite trailers and RVs out there, because what it does is it makes it super easy to simply, by using the colored dials in the manner that this diagram at the top says, you can easily say exactly what you want your water to do, and there's no guessing, whether it be dry camping or filling your tank or connected to city water, winterizing, or siphoning to sanitize the tank via a pump. All that visually right there, kind of a no-brainer. You have your hot and cold outdoor shower here, and you have your water inlet and black tank flush right there. Also, a little bit of an access port that goes down here, so you can connect your water hose through the bottom. Go ahead and have this set up how you want it to. Close it, lock it, keep it secure. And then you have your pulls for your outlet, your sewer outlet here. So there's one out here, but two separate pulls. Pretty great scenario. And then your low point drains right there. Now this is the back of that really cool Truma AquaGo Comfort Plus system. Love this guy. It's in some of my favorite builds as of late, whether it be the Pause lineup or other off-road, off-grid lineup or products that are out there. It is so very close to a true instant water, hot water system that to me, effectively, it is. Easy to understand. You got your power on and off right here. And as far as maintenance goes, you know, it's kind of easy to use. Now, I'm not going to bring this all the way down because I actually think they're in the middle of PDIing this unit when I brought it out for video. So that might have water and it might get me soaked. There we go. Now, if you're going to be off-grid and camping in cold weather, you're not going to want this little bitty mixing tank, and it's about this big. You don't want that to freeze up on you. You want the system protected. They make a hot water or a heating element filter. It's a filter with a heating element in it, and that can be put in there and controlled from that Truma unit on the inside, and you're good to go. And it's running off of your 12 volt. It's not taking too much power, but what a great thing for you to look out for to add to your Truma AquaGo system so that you can really protect your stuff and camp in cold weather. Then we do have a really large space here. Now this could be a true pass-through storage. It's all finished out. There's light at the top and whatnot. And we have a switch for your air compressor. You have air suspension. You're going to need to make sure that your air compressor can supply air to the air tank so you can use that system. I also see that they supply the hose for that hot and cold water shower system, and they have also supplied some solar panel, some external solar panel to plug right into those Anderson ports to supplement your charging. It's not really a true pass-through storage because there's a really cool pull-out kitchen on the other side. We'll check that out in a minute. On the front of this really cool camper, and I did fail to mention in the back that there are spotlights or floodlights on the back of this trailer, but there are also some right across the front of this trailer. You can see them up there. Nice window, and you can see a nice situation because here's that MORryde Huck bolted frame, all aluminum, a nice box here. Let's see, up here, you have a little bit of a storage tray. That's where they currently have the power cord and a crank, but store what you will up there. It has a nice hold open and it is lockable. So there you go. Let's open this up. Latch top and bottom. No locks on this one because you're not supposed to lock an area that you have propane. 2 propane tanks, your standard kind of barbecue pit size, the 20-pound, 5-gallon-ish size. But you need to be able to reach in here to turn off the gas in a pinch. So nicely done. It has seals on it, and then close, latch, good to go. There is a switch right here. It says extend and retract. That is for this lippert jack underneath here. I'm going to have you come on down, and this jack is one of the more unique tongue jacks I see out there, and it is such a fantastic, strong jack for this application. I'm glad that Forest River and Palomino went with that. This is your, and it's held in there, this is your 7-pin plug, and you have robust chains to make sure that you are in a safe towing scenario. So good, solid chains on a hanger. This is probably the star of the show on at the tongue area, and that would be this MORryde really overbuilt connection system for connecting to your tow vehicle. This takes a standard ball. It's a 2 5/16 ball, and right now it doesn't turn at all. So for your typical highway miles and whatnot, you lock it into place where it doesn't have so much rotation and it tows normally. But when you do want all of that articulation available to you on an off-road situation, you go ahead and pull this pin up, slide that back, and now you get a lot of rotation both ways that way, and then you also get rotation up and down. I'm at the wrong angle for that, but there you go, up and down this way. So this coupler is pretty new to me, but it looks so heavy duty. Locked back in place for towing. Now, I'm gonna come back around here. We'll get underneath this cool awning and we'll check out this pull-out kitchen. Let's go. In this side of that pass-through storage, like I said, it's not maybe truly pass-through storage because they've included this really nice pull-out kitchen. Could be if you wanted to make that change yourself, but this is what it comes with. This is a neat 12-volt refrigerator. It's not massive, but it has dividers and all that, so you can just organize the space as you want. And it's actually cold in there. And you have this plastic cutting board on top. This is a sink scenario, a sink system. And this obviously kind of pops out at the bottom, makes a nice sink scenario, and this hangs off the side. Let me see if I can accomplish that for you real quick. It has wings, so it can get more low profile. And I'm going to put these pins in their receptacles there, and this will pop out and hang out right there. There's a spray port right here, easy to connect, and then some power right there. And then I'm gonna come over here to this gray stone griddle, comes with it, and we got your hose. This is for your gas to connect for the griddle, and this is for that spray port. So a nice scenario to cook outside here as well. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty straightforward and a nice thing to have. I'm going to step over here a little bit and let's talk about just some of the options on the Reboots, including some of the power packages. Standard on this Reboot is a pretty capable package. It has 200 watts of solar on the roof, 270 amp hours of lithium ion battery, a 3000 watt inverter, it's the Victron inverter, and a 50 amp charger, MPPT solar charger. So not bad, but there's a second level, which is what's on this trailer. Let's talk about what that is. Now your solar upgrade option 1 from Palomino, which is what this trailer has. Now that has grand total 1000 watts of solar. Now, how do they break that up? 600 watts of solar mounted on the roof and one 400 watt folding solar panel that we saw in that storage. And then you still have batteries, but it's bumped up to 540 amp hours of batteries. You still have the 3000 watt Victron inverter, and you have solar controllers that can manage that much input. And the second level of upgrade that you can do to the from the factory solar and battery system on this is astounding. So you can have 800 watts of installed solar on the roof, and you can have 2 included Renogy folding solar panels at 400 watts each. So add that up, you have 1,600 watts included from the manufacturer of solar input that you can put on this trailer. And what about the battery package, the battery storage on that package? Well, now we're looking at 1,080 watts of battle-born lithium-ion battery in this size trailer. So you can charge really well, really fast in great conditions. You have capacity to hold you. You have an inverter that can run the air conditioner, and it can run the microwave convection system. And wow, what they can do between that power package and the water carrying capacity, you can really stay a long time. But not only that, because of the way it's built, you can get way out there to stay a long time. Just imagine the adventures you can have under this awning with this beautiful trailer on that back porch with your family, your friends, with your dogs, you name it. You could have quite the adventure in a Pause 17.4 Reboot Edition from Palomino and Forest River. I encourage you to check out the specs and details down below in the video description. And if you can, get to where you can find one of these in person and just see what the whole Paws lineup and the Paws Reboot lineup is all about. We have them at Princess Craft here in Round Rock, Texas, but also in Katy, Texas. It's been a pleasure showing it to you, and I'll show you something else next time.